Well, on paper, this two-night event looks damn impressive. I'm John Renton with my predictions for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver nights 1 and 2. The first night will be on USA Network as well as the WWE Network on Peacock, and then night 2 will be exclusive to Peacock. And hopefully Peacock can work out some of these kinks and make the navigation better and everything, because so far this transition hasn't gone all that well. It is what it is, and we'll see how it goes down the road. So anyway, I honestly am really stoked for at least 80% of this card. I'm kind of meh on some of it, but I think that, this TakeOver event, which is spread out over 2 nights, spread wider than a couple of my X's, could over-deliver, but if they called it stand and over-deliver, then it would be setting the expectations way too high, which is what a lot of TakeOvers have already done. Anyway, we start with Pete Dunn versus Kushida. And I think Pete Dunne's going to win. I think it's going to be a damn good match. I wouldn't be upset if Kushida won, but I think Pete Dunne's going to end up being the guy to take the victory here. I think they have big things for him. He could possibly win the North American Championship down the road. Who knows? But I think Pete Dunne winning here would be the right call, which is weird because Kushida had that great match against Johnny Gargano at TakeOver Vengeance Day, and then they've done absolutely nothing with him since. And I don't know if he was injured. I don't know if he needed time out. I don't know what the deal was, but I think Pete Dunne's going to win here. And then we get a 6-man gauntlet match. The winner faces Gargano on night 2. It's Leon Ruff, Swerve, Bronson Reed, Grimes, Loomis, and LA Knight. So I got 1 or 2 guys winning because obviously a gauntlet match, 2 guys start, and then 1 guy wins, and he goes on to face the next guy that enters. I have Dexter Loomis or Bronson Reed. Now, I'm not going to be upset if LA Knight wins, but then you're going to have heel versus heel, and I don't know how that's going to go. I think, in all honesty, if Reed were to win, then him facing Gargano and winning the championship would be nice. Unfortunately, and maybe a bit of a spoiler, I don't have Gargano winning or losing the championship just yet. But I think Loomis or Reed will win. But if LA Knight won, I wouldn't complain. I just don't know how that match would necessarily go, heel versus heel. So anyway, we then go to MSK versus Legoland Phantasm versus the Grizzled Young Veterans in a 3-way match for the vacant NXT tag titles. And I have MSK winning. Now, if the Grizzled Young Veterans win, that would be cool because they had to be taken off of Lorcan and Birch because Birch suffered a shoulder injury, which hopefully he will recover from very quickly. But it looks like he's going to be out for about 6 months. MSK winning would be kind of cool. It'd just be a really cool story. I think they probably will give it to the Grizzled Young Veterans, but I'm going to go with MSK. I think they want to go with a good story and, a happy moment with a new champion being crowned because we're guaranteed to get a new champion regardless. We then get Walter versus Ciampa, NXT UK title. It's going to be Walter. There is no way Ciampa's winning. No way. Is it going to be a good match? Yes, it will. Will Ciampa get his chest chopped off? You're goddamn right he'll get his chest chopped off, that is. Chop it off, if you will. And Walter is going to get the victory. But it's going to be a damn good match. And I'm really excited to see Walter on another TakeOver. So at least they're able to have this match, even if the result will be obvious. So we then get Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. This is going to main event night 1, and it's great. And Raquel's going to win. She's obviously going to win. If she doesn't win, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. And that's nothing against Io Shirai. They made it where, just recently on NXT where Raquel Gonzalez was beating the shit out of Io Shirai, and then she dived on everybody, including Raquel, to, close the go-home show for, TakeOver Stand Deliver, over-deliver, if you will. Stand up and deliver. That actually almost sounds like a postal service thing. But anyway, I think Raquel Gonzalez winning would be the right call because, yes, Io could hold it until June and hold it for a year. I don't think you need to have her do that. Raquel winning gives, more chances for some, faces to go after her. And Io's had a good run. Hasn't been the best run. But it's hard to do long runs when you don't fully invest in making them the focal point. And I think with the women main eventing, you need to have a big moment. Raquel winning creates, a new star, even though Raquel has been on the rise. Raquel Gonzalez needs to win this main event. And then we started with night 2. Ember and Shotzi versus Indy and Candice. NXT Women's Tag Titles. Ember and Shotzi are going to win. I think Indy's probably going to take the pick. I would be very surprised if they switched the tag titles already. Because they switched them from Dakota and Raquel, when they were crowned the new champions. And then Ember and Shotzi, won them like an hour later. And then all of a sudden, we're just going to switch them again. No, that's not really the best idea. Plus, I have no desire to see Candice hold a championship. As good as Candice is, she's fucking boring. Ember and Shotzi should win, and I think Indy's going to end up taking the pin here. The Pindy, if you will, which sounds like a weird panini. And Ember and Shotzi will go on to have at least a decent run with the tag titles. Even though I think you could have just had the, women's tag titles have been around for a couple of years, just go between all three brands, or just put them in NXT and not have, them compete over on Raw and SmackDown when nobody really gives a shit, but whatever. When in doubt, add more championships. Cole and O'Reilly, O'Reilly, unsanctioned parts. It's an unsanctioned match. I want to see Kyle O'Reilly win this. I really do. I think that, him winning would be great. He could, sell this with Adam Cole. He beat the shit out of a guy that has betrayed him, that has tried to injure him, tried to take him out of wrestling and all that. Adam Cole's going to win. I'm not against Kyle O'Reilly winning, but I just think Adam Cole's going to win. Now, if they do unsanctioned and Kyle wins, then it doesn't count, for the win-loss record, all that, even though NXT doesn't necessarily do that. That's for AEW, sports-based wrestling. But anyway, the win-loss records don't necessarily work with how they're doing things. In fact, they only really worked in Ring of Honor. But moving on, I think that Adam Cole's going to win. I think it's going to be a damn good match. I don't know if it's going to be cinematic, but it's going to be damn good, hard-hitting. I think we're going to get some blood. I think we will get some blood because we're going to be on Peacock, and I don't know how Peacock feels about blood. But I think that that's how you're going to have to do it. You're going to have some bruising, some swelling, some blood. You're going to have something that's really goddamn good. Adam Cole's going to get the victory, even if it means that, it has to knock Kyle O'Reilly down a peg. He will eventually get he'll eventually get some kind of revenge. I just think Adam Cole, winning this would be the right call. I mean, what do you do if Adam Cole loses it? Do you call him up to the main roster and have Kyle O'Reilly go after a championship? What do you do? They kind of wrote themselves into a corner here. Then we get Gargano versus the winner, so it's either Loomis or Reed or possibly LA Knight, because really you go with either of those three. Johnny Gargano is going to retain. Because I think Pete Dunne beating Johnny Gargano would be cool. And I guess what I said about LA Knight versus, Gargano being heel versus heel. Dunne versus Gargano would be goddamn good. I think Gargano's retaining regardless, because all this stuff about not knowing his opponent, not being able to prepare and all that, it's not going to end up deterring him. He's somehow going to get the victory. If Kushida didn't beat him at TakeOver Vengeance Day, the winner of the Gauntlet is not going to beat him, because the perfect time would have been to have Kushida win. So yeah, Gargano's going to retain. And then Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar, likely with Legoland Phantasm there. Ladder match to determine the undisputed Cruiserweight champion. If Escobar doesn't win, this is going to be sorely disappointing. Not that Devlin isn't good in the ring, but, all the bullshit going on. Escobar also has been killing it as Cruiserweight champion, even though I don't care for the Cruiserweight title. And I think Escobar winning would be the best way to go. Because Devlin's probably going to go back to the UK. I don't think you're going to be doing as much traveling, even though travel restrictions are being lifted for the most part. I think Devlin would just be better off in the UK and NXT UK. Like, he doesn't really need that. It was cool when he won it, and then, it's kind of like when Tessa won the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. The entire world shut down, and the bloom was off the goddamn rose by the time, people got reminded that Devlin was champion. Maybe that was a bad comparison, because Devlin can actually wrestle and can actually do shit, and, well, both are problematic. I don't know where this comparison was going. Santos Escobar is going to get the victory and retain and become the undisputed Cruiserweight champion, and then probably lose on his next defense. But at least he will have established himself as a great Cruiserweight champion, or cemented himself as that. Then we get the Balor versus Cross. For the NXT title, it's going to be Karrion Kross winning. Because if Balor wins, who the fuck else do you have him face? Genuine question. Who do you have him face? LA Knight beating him? I don't think that would necessarily work. Pete Dunne getting another crack at him? I mean, sure, you could do that. I don't know what else you do. I don't know who. Do you have Kyle O'Reilly win the unsanctioned match and then challenge Balor and finally beat him? Sure. Where does that leave Cross? Cross beating Balor is the right call. Now, Balor will not break out the Demon, or maybe he will. Who the hell knows? And Cross will be the first man to beat the Demon. I don't think Balor's going to bring the Demon back anytime soon, but I think Karrion Kross is going to get the victory. Hopefully he doesn't suffer a shoulder injury like he did, and we move on from that, and then maybe Kyle O'Reilly beats him at the August or November takeover, and we finally get this long, winding story of Kyle O'Reilly overcoming everything to beat Karrion Kross. But I think Karrion Kross is going to get the victory. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.